Hey y'all. Welcome to episode 3. We got Sarah. We got Sarah Taylor, now Brewster here too.
Brewster, yeah.
Yeah.
And Amanda Taylor is in the house. I'm at her house right now. She's cooking, so she'll be running in and out and around. She's the cook.
She's cooking salmon.
Yep.
Which, by the way, that's not a Zoom background. That's the real background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking good. And you might see some deer later. So that's our other.
We'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Well, so glad to have both of you here. We were supposed to have Karina here too, but Karina had to leave.
Mm-hmm. I think she said she's going to try and hop on. She should be there already, so she might be watching. Hi, Karina. We miss you.
And if she wants to join, send her the link too, and she'll get put in the green room, and I'll bump her in.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, cool. How's it going there over there, Jess? You're in a different place now.
Yeah, it's hot. It's not as nice. I don't have like moose wandering behind me today. It's just plant life.
What about the mosquitoes? Are they any better?
No. It's been raining, so it's not as good.
There we go.
There's Amanda.
Shout out to my homegirls, Lisa, Karina, Tia, Brittany. Missing anyone? Lisa. Did I get Lisa? You said Lisa first. Okay, good.
There's Karina.
Karina.
She says hello.
Hey, Karina. You guys, go to the reunion, and I made a reunion scrapbook 20 years ago, and I'm going to bring this. And it's going to be very cool. Good stuff in here. Yep. Great stuff.
It's a really cool scrapbook. Especially, I was just looking at the yearbook too, and I think like there's probably more photos in that scrapbook. And
oh yeah,
more
I'm
thought
like
in
in that. Every year, I still remember I'd be like, "Why am I not in this anywhere?" Camera shy. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, there were a few places though, like
oh, that's Amanda.
Yeah, there's Amanda, and then here's Sarah.
Oh.
And
you got short hair, Sarah. Yeah, I know. I just can't handle long hair. Let's do some long hair. It's very drab. But I'm on the Silver Club route. How thick that hair is.
Yeah. And I actually, I can't leave Jess out either. Like,
oh, great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's glorious. That is in the yearbook?
Yeah, that's in the yearbook.
Oh, God. Well, nothing's changed. It's fine.
You're just loving that celery in the.
Where did you find? I don't like you anymore. It's ridiculous.
Okay, do you want me to? Let's hold on.
Oh, look at how cute you are with your hair.
I had like the Guy Ferrari spikiness, like the fire hair going on. No, it was actually an accident. I wanted the frosting tip, my tips frosted.
Yeah.
And my sister just put it all over my hair and just like massaged it in, so I got orange hair out of it.
Gosh, it's not the right way to do that. It came at the right price of free, though, right?
Yeah. Right.
Actually, yes. She's cut my hair. She's a cook and a doctor and a hairdresser. I have a very inflated sense of things I'm capable of. She does my eyebrows. So I've decided that I can cut hair now. Yeah. This is my last haircut with somebody, but she cut it for like the whole year before that. I took an online class. Yeah.
Did that come out of COVID too?
Yeah, I think I can figure it out. Like life is short. You can learn every single technique and skill out there. That's what I'm thinking.
We used to make jokes called it YouTube certified.
Yeah, free haircuts at the reunion. Free haircuts. With my scissors and my razor. Hit me up. Yeah.
It'll be outside, so you may as well.
I missed my haircut appointment today. He canceled on me. So like I was trying to like spiff up before we got here, and I grabbed hairspray instead of dry shampoo. So we ended up with this because it was I was like, oh, that's not it.
I've done that with deodorant before.
Hairspray.
You see this from Brittany about Nick gives you a run for your money with the silver.
Oh, he really does. It's looking nice, Brittany. I'm a fan. Silver Club all the way. No more hair dye, you guys. Yeah, she's got a lot of nice silver. Whenever I'm at the hospital, I'm like, Silver Club, I like your hair. Don't you tell you that. I like that.
Did Nick is Nick silver now? Like, I think I see online he still has his dark hair.
No, he's pretty gray.
All right. Well, don't dye your hair, Nick, for the weekend. Just come.
Yeah.
I got.
It won't. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Better be there.
See, mine went straight to white. So like all this business, it's like just straight to white.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, she hasn't convinced me yet, but it looks very good on her. But same thing, like I think her hair long looks so nice, and mine looks drab as hell, and I just can't do it, and I just cut it. Yeah. But so our hair is pretty different. That's one way you can tell us apart now, I guess. Yeah.
But, well, you could in high school that way too, like
yeah,
short hair. You mean
always?
Are you talking about the short hair or the silver?
Yeah. Short hair.
Short hair and long
hair. Yep.
Oh, and I just realized we hadn't done.
Oh, nice. Oh, that was a very common pose.
I know, right?
Before. Yep.
They made us put all of our high school pictures and our diplomas up at Cienega where I work, and so like it's so ridiculous because I have like this picture up there, and my students will go up there and be like, "Priscilla Garza, is that really you?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like
I have a whole Cienega page because so many of our friends graduated from Cienega.
Oh wow!
Isn't that cool? She has it together. Got to see the scrapbook. It's great, guys.
You did that when you graduated, or like last week?
I did it at the end of grad. Yeah, I did it throughout our last senior year. I got prom, all kinds of good stuff. You're gonna love it.
I'm looking forward to
seeing it. I can't wait to look at it. I love it. I never got good at scrapbooking. I'd always like cut it out I'm a quitter. Like, well, that's good enough. And I just leave it. Well, I made an amazing high school and college scrapbook, and then I never touched it ever again. Yeah. So I'm a lady of what is it like? Span? Yeah, like I get passionate about things for short periods of time, you know.
How many boxes do you have to go through to find that scrapbook too? Like it's made a move all over the country. Like,
not far. Like I've been pretty lucky. She hasn't gone as many places actually. Haven't moved in 7 years now. So this was just actually right in my bookcase.
Oh, it's on your bookshelf.
Yeah. And actually she is very much like anti-clutter. And that's why another reason she doesn't go to my house because I have 2 kids and a lot of things everywhere, and it's messy a lot too. So she doesn't come to my house. Right, but yeah, that's one reason. So that's probably much easier to find stuff when you are very particular about not having. Yeah, I went crazy. I lost this bracelet for like 4 months, and I've been going insane trying to find. And I said, this bracelet's gone forever, and I found it yesterday. It just made my day. I knew she would. It's behind my bathtub. Who knew? I knew it. Can't believe
Set it down and it fell behind.
I guess so. I guess I took it off and it fell behind. I just don't remember that. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, before we dive in, because we have 40 years worth of stories now with this episode to go through.
I don't know how 38, sir. I'm only 38.
No. It's been 20 since we graduated, combining the years since graduation.
We're on the right math page. Okay. I got it.
I'm not saying you're both. I'm not saying you're 40. No, between the two of you, it's been
okay, good. Okay, 40 years.
You each have 20 years to go through.
We did totally different things. Yep.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I wanted to call out that the deadline for buying tickets is coming up pretty quick. So the ranch said by early September, and I think we should try to get by mid-August just to get everybody's tickets and make sure we can get a number as soon as possible to them. Mm-hmm. So right now, it's only a handful of us that have bought tickets.
You should bump it to the top of the group and like pin it so it's the first thing people see so they can buy it, because I'm also a slacker. I've not bought mine yet, but I will be doing that because I'm going. I'm just horribly slacking.
You already have plane tickets. So I've been doing the back leg work. I was like, I really miss Hallie Havican. Let's text her up. So I texted her, and she said she's going to be out of the country, so she would have loved to come, but she won't make it.
That's too bad. Seems like there's a bunch of people that won't be making the trip.
We're flying there. We already have our plane tickets and our Airbnb. It's happening.
Wait, you're not staying at the ranch?
No, I didn't know you could stay at the ranch.
Yeah, Tinker Verde Ranch.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's not too late to cancel, but it's all inclusive. You get like horseback rides and 3 meals a day, and
the thing is that we're gonna have me, Sarah, her husband, and Karina I think that's it for now. Tia, maybe Lisa if she comes by, anybody, so it's kind of nice to like have a place to crash if people needed to without making plans.
That's true. Especially you get a bigger, like a nice big house with Airbnb.
It's kind of a cute little house with a pool, with a little back yard that's really nice. So we'll see if Airbnb doesn't screw me over like they usually do.
Nobody wants to come stay at my. I mean, I'm by myself, so I have room now, but I live way out in the boonies. So
oh wow! Oh yeah.
So
isn't it wonderful and peaceful to live alone though? It's so
I will let you know once I experience it more. I flew back from Alaska on Saturday or on Friday. I mean, so I got into Phoenix at 6 a.m. and I drove to work because I had to meet with somebody and did not realize it was staff on campus day. So I got there and there's all these cars. I'm like, why are there so many cars here? And I'm like, do you guys fly professional or do you fly like pajama wear? It was an overnight flight for me. So it was like real relaxed. And I got there and I'm like, oh my God, I have to be here all day. And so I stayed until 12 and then I came home and then it was like, go, go, go. And so I just like, this has been the first like sit down, relax moment I've had for the entire weekend. So get back to me in a week. I'll let you know how it is when I live by myself.
Nice.
We got one more of that. Lisa.
Oh, better buy your tickets, Lisa.
Yeah, go buy them.
Yeah.
All the tickets.
Calling you out, Lisa. Good. I can't wait to see you. It's been a long time. Yeah. My gosh, it's so hard to remember. Time flies.
Yeah, just going through that yearbook too. There was a lot of it's really weird. It's almost like we were living those late 90s, early 2000s teen movies where there's just like a certain vibe going on, the way people looked. Mm-hmm. And just going through the yearbook, it's like we were living that American Pie style vibe. Like it's like you were doing what? Sorry.
But all of our trends are coming back. Said 90s babies. We got like some flared jeans coming back, all kinds of our old school stuff. Sarah's little girl had like that little choker thing for a while.
Oh yeah, the choker.
With one of those from school. Mm-hmm. They're always like trading stuff at school. We were just very trendy. We just didn't know it back then.
Do you see that a lot, Jess? Too, like your students?
It's awful.
You get to see the kids.
Yeah, they come in wearing stuff, and I'm like, "You got that?" I actually had one kid come in with Jinko jeans, and I said, "Did you get those from your father?" And he's like, "How did you know? I got them right out of his closet." And I was like, "Yeah,
they're really expensive now.
They are. They were expensive then, but they're like way, way expensive.
Yeah,
now.
They're insane.
Yeah. So he's
Champions,
like,
the other ones.
Showing us, we were like, what? Yeah, I wish I saved more of our clothes. We'd have a good. Yeah, we do save stuff for my daughter. Yeah, we're like, oh, this is too nice to give away. We'll just wait 15 years. We just hold it.
But like, it almost seems like we were more like put together. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just the high school near me, but it looked like everybody actually showered. In our yearbook, like when we went to school.
Oh, at our oh yeah.
Maybe it's a generational thing, but we're already. That's the way it is at the hospitals. It's like these new doctors, they don't want to work. Nobody wants to take calls. Nobody works like we're used to working. So I don't know if it's just like if it's real or if it's imagined. I don't know.
I definitely feel like there's this huge generational thing with oh my gosh. Yeah.
That video is showing us and she's showing us how expensive it is.
Yeah.
It's also a good idea from Lisa too about can we do 90s attire?
Oh God. No.
It's like Spirit Week, but it's like Spirit Night. We just choose a theme.
We're gonna have Romy and Michelle this reunion, remember? Oh my God.
That's a great idea.
Surprise.
Well, we'll get to how you invented the Post-it notes here in a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say, Jess, about the kids in your class?
Oh, I think it's a generational thing, and I also think that COVID really messed with the kids a lot. Yeah. And then like work ethic is amazingly like when I say so I teach English, and it's like so write me a paragraph about blah blah blah, and they're like so a paragraph is like 3 to 5 sentences, and I'm like If you're in third grade, yes, a paragraph is 5 sentences.
Technically speaking, it is.
Complete a thought process and make it sound, 12th grade level. But like, yeah, it is definitely the generation of minimal effort as possible and still get paid.
So I don't know. Or maybe smarter, not harder.
Maybe. It could be. I don't see that though.
I mean, because technically a paragraph could be one word.
Could it?
If it's a quote.
I'm not an English person. I don't know.
If you're starting a new quote, maybe.
Oh, I found a paper I wrote from high school, actually, because I was looking through my stuff, and I read it, and it was about like women in combat or something, and it was horribly written. I was like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I got a decent grade on it, but I was like, I can't believe, like, I used to think I was an okay writer. This is trash. But yeah.
Well, did you follow the writing? Did you find the writing process with that too, or did you just go straight into your final draft?
I just saw it print. It was like a 7-page paper or something in senior year.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so not good.
Look at Tucson.
All my writing's been great. I'm not.
Yeah, she's a really good writer, but I've improved a lot. And I've had to write. I'm in school right now. I'm not in a class right now that involves writing, but I was a couple months ago. So I had to do a lot of writing for that one. And I was like, man, I write a lot better than I used to, I think, for sure.
Because your brain functions on like a full level now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're as adults now, your brain has actually fully developed.
Yes, exactly. It was half developed in that essay, that's for sure.
Well, is that a good jumping off point? Should we you want to go first, Sarah? Like take us through graduation night all the way through today?
Okay. So I don't remember much about graduation at all, like not at all. So let's just I know so when I graduated, I think. And I also had written this other thing that I found that was kind of like, I don't know what I want to do, and maybe I'll do this or do this. And I wrote that I wanted to live somewhere warm, which I don't. Gross. So I changed a lot of my opinions on that. But anyways, I had thought I'm going to go to college. So I started at University of Arizona because Amanda already was going to do that. And I did pre-nursing. And it was fine. Like I did the first year, but I had like B's. I had like a 3.2 or something like that. And it was very competitive as far as like, I couldn't get my classes the next year. So I did PIMA for a little bit and I just hated it. And I didn't feel like I had a lot of direction. And I almost joined the Air Force at 18 and I dropped it to go to college. And then I ended up joining the Navy at 20. So I thought I wanted to do medical background. And I got a corpsman contract, which is a 5-year contract. And someone had me test for like nuclear power. And they have bigger bonuses and stuff. And I tested really well. And I was like a little nervous because it's really male dominated and all that. And it's like completely different than anything. And I didn't do physics. I didn't do math. I didn't really do much of that stuff at Santa Rita. But I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And at that point, it was like an $8,000 bonus. Now it's like $30,000-$40,000. So it's like totally different. But back then I was like, well, that's pretty good. So I got like $11,000, I think, to join. And that's a 6-year contract, like first up, because it's 2 years of school. So right away, that was 20, right? So that was going to be 20 to 26 years old. Once I did it, I did really well in the school. And it was in Charleston, South Carolina, where that school is located. I was a nuclear power electrician. So I was an electrician for 8 years in aircraft carriers where I ended up. But when you first are in the program, you're on like a moored training facility. So it's an operational submarine, but it's moored to the pier. So that's 2 years of school. And I did really well. So I got picked up as an instructor there. So I did 4 years total at the school, and then I finished out my 4 years in the fleet, which is where I ended up in near Seattle, Washington, in Bremerton, on the Stennis, John C. Stennis.
Yeah, and I think our ships passed in the night too with that. Like you left like the same year I came here.
Yeah, because I was there 2010 to 2014. Really? Is when I got out.
Yeah, we came here February 2014.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I actually got married in Washington. So that was pretty cool. My husband we had mutual friends. So luckily people always say, did you work together? And I was like, no, he would not have liked me if he worked with me. That was very salty and mean, because that's just what the Navy did to me. And he was a mechanic on a submarine, and I was an electrician on aircraft carrier. And we just had mutual friends because I, knew and met a lot of people through being at that training platform before. And we ended up dating and got married a week after I got out of the military in 2014. And we were able to do it out in Port Orchard, Washington. It was really beautiful. It was very hot that day, unfortunately, so that was a little tough. But it was really beautiful. And then I moved. After that, we moved cross country to upstate New York, and that's where my husband was stationed. He was not a staff instructor pickup like I was, and he joined a year after me. So that means when he reenlisted, he had 3.5 years to do. So when he got out, he was at 10 years, and that was in 2018. And so we went up to upstate New York, and I decided to do, I was thinking, do I want to go back to medicine, maybe go towards medicine or stay engineering? And I decided to stay engineering. So I did use my GI Bill, and I went to RPI in Troy, New York, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. And I got a bachelor's in mechanical engineering. I was doing a dual major there. I was doing product design, innovation, and mechanical engineering. And I really liked it, but I got pregnant like halfway into school. So I had my son 4 weeks before my junior year, I think. Yeah. So had him right before school started. And then it was just a little bit too much like run around. People were like, oh, let's just kind of screw around and do this. And I was like, no, I don't have time for this. And if I dropped my second major, I could finish school the same time my husband got out of the military. So that's what we did. And then I graduated in December 2017. We hopped a plane, came out here. My husband was out of the Navy about the same time. And I was actually 7 months pregnant when I flew out here to Texas. So it was like a lot of change. So I just finished college, had a 1-year-old, was 7 months pregnant. My husband just got out of the military. We both didn't have jobs.
Oh, no.
The plane to move across the country to Texas. So it's a little crazy.
To be close to Amanda.
Yeah. Pretty much, like, we needed a landing spot because we knew like we were looking to get jobs. I'm always like, I'm pretty good at making connections and reaching out to people and like keeping things in my pocket. So I saw on this Navy Nuke Job Finder post on Facebook a role that would be good for my husband, and I kind of put it in my pocket for like 6 months. And then I told him about it. So he got the job right when he got out here. And he works at Navistar Technology, and they build 18-wheelers, and he's a maintenance manager. So he runs the whole team out there. So it's pretty cool. And he really likes doing that. And then I had, my daughter was very tough. So I had a son and then a daughter when we were out here, and she was just difficult. So I think after 6 months having the 2 kids, I started looking for jobs, and I took my first interview. I got the job, and it was a train HVAC, HVAC. And it was a train, and I was there for 5 years, and then I left them last year, and now I'm with Mitsubishi Electric. So before I was in project management, when I was in project management here in Texas, I got my PMP as well, like just one more thing I was working on, and I kept trying to like go further in the company, and I kept getting passed over a little bit. So at my 5-year point, I was jumping. I was like, I'm gone. I'll be gone in 2 or 3 months. Whether it's with this place I'd like to go or not, I'll be gone. And I luckily got scooped up with like some people I enjoyed meeting and working with. So I'm with them now, and I work with Mitsubishi Electric. I work for the independent train offices on the East Coast. So even though I live in Texas, I work for offices in North Carolina, DC, Maryland, Virginia.
So you have to start your day like an hour earlier than you normally
would. Which is really helpful for me. And I like finishing a little early. So I work 7 to 4 pretty much. So it's really good.
Perfect. Wait, so you're with a train? You said you do trains with Mitsubishi?
I do. Train has a joint venture from about 6 years ago so Train and Mitsubishi. So Mitsubishi mainly does mini splits and VRF, and now HVRF, hybrid VRF. And so I work with VRF now, variable refrigerant flow.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I have no idea what that acronym stands for.
Yeah, it's just all electric, so no gas stuff. So it's like electrified for better. Sorry, it's kind of loud there. It's better for the environment, better for the electrical grid, better for the advancement of clean energy and all that. So, which is something I've always been passionate about, anyways. And I get to design some layouts. I do commercial projects. So I do quoting, I do a little bit of stuff on the project management side. So my role is an area sales manager, but I'm kind of like a hybrid, more than a few things across a couple different regions. So it's pretty fun.
Whew, that's a lot.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot. Been all over the place. Oh, and I since I started this company, I wanted to use the rest of my GI Bill up, and I've been wanting to get an MBA for a long time, but with the kids, like they're tough and they're so young for so long. So I'm like close to like 40% done. So I'm doing my MBA right now through LSU Shreveport online program, and I'm doing it for free because the Navy's still paying for it. So that's
really that Navy money going on.
Yep, taking every last dime. And then I'm doing so it's MBA with a focus on international business. And I'm going to finish that next year, I think. And then my kids, sometimes they're like, oh, why do you have to be busy? And I was like, I waited 7 years, all right? I wanted to do this 7 years ago. So you guys just have to be a little patient. It's a little bit of time, but it won't last forever.
Yeah, you're almost halfway through it.
Yeah, and it's really good program. So it's very, even if you don't have GI Bill, it's very affordable, generally, like comparatively to all the other programs out there. So I definitely recommend it.
I don't know if you saw the pop up from
Jessica
Jess. Too. Yeah, it's amazing.
Hey, Jess. So yeah, we've been here so I moved here pretty much since 2018. So 6 years or so. Amanda's been here a little bit longer. But yeah, she's the one that, she was effectively going to have my parents move out here, and I wanted to be near family. And me and my sister have been apart for 12 years already. Mm-hmm. And the hard part is she was finally finishing school and doing her job as a doctor, and I had just started school getting out of the Navy. So I was in school finally after all those 10, 12 years that she was in. So it's a bummer.
The only one you're missing from the family is Josh and his wife.
Yes, they're in Virginia area, and his kids are 10 years older than my kids.
So they're like 17, 18?
They're like 15 pretty much, like 14, 15. They're already like pretty much in high school, and my son was going to go out on a trip to go see them, but I don't know if it's still going to go on because they change schedules and can't get some time off. So I don't think it'll happen this time. But yeah, they're out on the East Coast, so we see him a little bit. He was wondering about Josh. He's like, I was like, oh yeah, Josh.
He's all right.
He's all right.
He's all right. Jess, you're how old is your oldest? Isn't
so we did like the joint family thing, but the oldest in our family will be 18 in October. Next one down's 15, next one down's 14, and then our last one is 7.
Wow.
A lot. Yeah.
So we each brought some from previous marriages, and now we just have a gaggle.
Well, both of my kids are here. So I'm going to have make an appearance later, maybe too.
Yeah, one of them's crying right now, but he'll be okay.
Oh, no.
He's all right.
Yeah, right. They're spoiled by their aunt. That's probably half the problem.
That's your job, though. Yeah, my son brought me his like cup of noodles during the last episode. He was like, "Here, Mom."
Oh, so cute.
So
yeah, that's right. The kids always make an appearance. This is the first one where both my kids are out of the house they're with my wife tonight.
Oh,
so
nice.
Last when my son, who's 3, woke up from his nap and he thought we left him home alone.
Oh.
So he was upstairs crying, so I had to step away but yeah, he actually escaped today. I
perfect.
Turned my back, and he went upstairs, and I was going to follow him upstairs, and then I went upstairs and I couldn't find him, so I thought he was hiding at first.
Oh my gosh.
Running around the house calling for him, didn't hear any giggles or anything. So then I started looking in the backyard, he wasn't there. opened up the garage door, and the garage door was wide open. So he had opened the garage door and ran and took his balance bike. And I was running down the street in flip-flops, like calling his name, and I found some people who found him. But he was almost like to the major intersection to leave the neighborhood.
Oh.
In the middle of the road. Yeah.
My son was 18 months old, and I was with my daughter just born, and it got too quiet. So immediately I was like, what's wrong? What's going on? And he had got his grubby little fingers, popped out the screen, dust all over it, dust all over him, jumped out the window and ran down the street.
Oof.
And then he was just covered in dirt. I was like, oh my gosh. Just jailbreak.
Kids are fun. Kids are
Yeah, so now we have two locks on the door going out to the garage. One that's actually on the doorknob.
Latches everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, I got a sliding one today on Amazon, and you slide it back and forth, and it hooks into a peg, and you can open it from both sides of the door.
Oh, good. That makes sense.
We also had to put a lock on the pantry too because the kids were going in and getting food all the time.
It's a candy drawer with the fingerprint lock on it.
Really? You use biometrics to open up the drawer?
Yeah,
we had to put a lock on our pantry. So again, 4 kids, we go hard on snacks, right? So I went to Costco, right? Because there's 4 of them, and we spent about I want to say like $200 or $300 on snacks. Like we had stocked up that way we could just keep the pantry loaded, not have to go back. And within 2 weeks, the kids were like, "There's no more snacks," and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? There's what? And they're like, and so I went and this was before I monitored how many snacks they were having. Right. And we go and I look, and they had annihilated like 3 months worth of snacks. Put a lock on the pantry, and they're like, this is child abuse. You can't lock.
Yeah. You have to feed us. Did you find wrappers in their rooms too? Like, were they stuffing?
Oh, it was everywhere. They were like stuffed in between the couch cushions. They were like in the bathroom, like, the toilet, the trash can that's in the bathroom, like filled with granola bar wrappers, and find them in the car and in the backpack. I'm like, I'm never feeding you again.
I know.
Yeah.
My kids never ran away though. But of course I live in the middle of nowhere. So where would they go? Like out in the dirt.
Where do you live that's the middle of nowhere?
So I'm out in Vail.
Okay.
So there's like Cienega, and then there's Del Lago, and then there's like a whole mess of not developed areas.
Oh,
so I'm back in the boonies on a mile of dirt road.
Nice.
The thing is, if your kids got out when they were younger and ran away, it could be any direction that you'd have to go find them instead of just following a certain street.
I think that was part of the fear factor. Don't go outside, something will eat you. So maybe I don't know.
The hawk will carry you away.
Yeah, the hawk or the bobcat out there.
We have had bobcats in the yard. We've had coyotes are very present in the area. Javelina that like to knock over the trash can and mess
I
with
definitely see much fewer snakes here. I remember just so many snakes in Arizona.
More snakes.
A lot of snakes.
Did you know there's no snakes in Alaska?
Supposedly there's no snakes at all in New Zealand too.
Yeah, it's too cold in Alaska. Yeah. They have mosquitoes the size of your fist, but there's no snakes there.
There's no snakes to keep the mosquito population under control.
Yeah.
I saw I think I was telling you this earlier. I saw 7 snakes in my backyard today when I was mowing the lawn.
What?
Yeah, just garden snakes just going every which way. Yeah, it's really weird too. They'll jump up on top of the lawnmower and flip around, and then they'll fall off. What's that?
Because they don't want to die.
Well, instead of just going around it, they jump onto it, and then they're like a fish out of water.
My son
not for me.
We have huge lizards everywhere here.
Lizards,
lots of them.
Yeah.
My son grabs them all the time. The last one just bit him, and I thought he'd freak out. He's like, "It's biting me," and he's just pulling it off of his skin. Gross.
Well, they have little teeth.
Yeah, I thought it would hurt, but he was not phased at all. I was like, okay. I actually have a roll of all the different lizards he's caught, so it's probably 20 now. Different pictures.
Oh, gosh,
he's an expert lizard napper.
It's a lizard wrangler.
Like a shared album that you post all the lizards in.
Yeah, over the last 2-3 years, always grabbing them.
Well, Amanda's back.
Yeah, Amanda.
Hold on, I have one more before we jump into Amanda's story, because I also found this one too.
Oh, that's so cute. That's you. Is it me? It's definitely you. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Aww, there I am.
Yeah, this was in I have like this whole album of high school photos.
Nice.
But what's weird, that was in the student council room, but I don't think you were in student council.
I was junior class president.
Ooh.
Wait, then how come you're not in the list of people in the yearbook?
Oh.
You're not even in the not pictured.
Didn't I beat Tyler Amato or something?
I have no idea.
I won. I was junior class president. I was in it for 1 year.
Okay, this was senior year.
Oh, I was not. I don't think I was in senior year.
Yeah. So you must have been like delivering a message from the office or something.
Why do I look so young?
You are young.
Yeah.
I used to bring my digital camera to school and just snap pictures of everybody.
Well, I kept seeing the stuff you're posting, Wes, and I was like, I'm not in anyone's photos anywhere. I was bummed.
Not in anyone's, except for celery. Whoever took the damn celery picture.
Yeah.
Freaking fired.
I know, for real.
There's more of you, Jess. I'll share those in episode.
No. It's
exactly.
All right. Well, take us with your story, Amanda.
It's not that interesting. I think the most interesting thing is she realized how much she missed me though when I left.
That we were apart for like 10 years.
12 years.
Pretty crazy.
That's like half the time. But like according to Karina, you were in a limo on grad night. So do you remember that, Amanda? Because Sarah apparently doesn't remember that.
There's so much I don't remember because I feel like 8 years in the Navy, 8 years and 10 days was like 27 years. So it's like so hard to remember anything.
Karina,
before.
You're not thinking about prom? We definitely had a limo for prom.
Ooh, I have one story I have to tell you guys though. So I joined when I was 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means I turned 21 in the Navy. And I was still in school and I got them to approve me like vacation so I could fly home, and I surprised Amanda. And I think Lisa was in on it. And
it was at Lisa
and some other
Tia and Karina's house.
And they were in on it, and Amanda didn't know. And so I got picked up and they brought me in and they put a blindfold on her and said they got her a stripper.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't like naked strangers.
And she was like, I don't want naked people. And then she found out it was me and she was super shocked. And then we had the best night ever. I do remember that. We had so much fun, and I think we had a limo that night for our 21st.
Yeah.
And then we got to surprise my parents the next day because they kind of lived in Marana in the boonies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda was driving and she's like, jump out. So I jumped out of the car. My mom was like, who's driving Amanda's car? And I tricked, like both of them were like super confused because they didn't tell it was me at first. So it was really fun. So I got to do a couple of fun things like that.
So I was happy to get Sarah back in town. I never really thought I'd be in Texas. I went to high school, college, and med school in Tucson. And I considered just staying in Tucson. At that point, I had an ex-boyfriend that wouldn't really leave me alone. And I was also like, maybe I should interview a few other places. I don't want to be overconfident. So I randomly interviewed a few places, and I interviewed in Galveston, Texas. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the people there. I was like, this kind of seems like my vibe. So I ranked that place pretty high, and I ended up matching there. So I ended up there for residency for 4 years. And then I took a job in San Antonio. So I'm in my first job still. It's been 8 years
now.
You
didn't say you graduated University of Arizona Med School.
Yeah.
So I was already in the Navy then. That's right. And then she did her residency for 4 years. Okay. And then ended up in San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I moved here when I graduated in 2016. And I've been here since in the same job, kind of like changing a little bit of what I'm doing in my job. You know how all the young people don't want to take call anymore? Well, I'm going to take a call only job. So I'm going to work from 3 p.m. to 7 a.m., 7 days straight, and then I'm going to get 2 weeks off every month.
That's awesome. I wish I could do that.
Pretty excited about it. So right now, I for the last 10 years, I've worked 65 to 80 hours a week, and I'm pretty tired.
Yeah, she works way too much. And I would always tell her, why did I move here? Well, it's just FaceTime.
We just FaceTime.
Don't waste my time. I don't want to live in Texas. It's too hot here.
So you're just FaceTiming instead of actually moving there.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you'll never know. I always tell her, I'll move away. You'll never know the difference because she always works too much.
But I'm excited. It'll be kind of a good change. It'll be cool.
And now I'm going to force her to watch my kids once in a while. So
yeah,
win-win for everybody.
That's the benefit. You can't separate identical twins though.
Yeah. You have to be here.
Yeah, but
where I'm at.
Luckily, and I do travel for work. I do training out there sometimes. I have like in 2 weeks, I'll be in Pennsylvania for our quarterly sales meeting. So luckily my parents are kind of here to like fill in the gap because my husband works really long hours and not flexible whatsoever. So you could be a little more flexible later. If you're off a little bit. That's my plan.
You're gonna owe me one.
Yeah. You owe me because I moved here for you. Yeah. I don't even like Texas.
Texas is great, okay?
Too hot for me.
I like it here. It's nice. It's very
I'm
good.
Sure, I'm sure you'll get used to it.
Yeah.
Like Jess is used to the heat in Arizona, right?
Yeah. It's fine.
No.
I don't know if you ever get used to the heat in Arizona. Like, you just know it's going to be hot. You know you're going to walk outside and like start sweating. And it's not humid though. Is it humid in Texas?
So humid. And the mosquitoes are just ginormous.
They're not that bad.
And then they just break out and get red sores because of the mosquitoes. And and the roaches are really bad too.
I don't see any roaches.
They hate because it's so hot outside. So they're desperate to get in your house. They crawl up in the faucets and stuff.
Are there those big roaches? Like the big
They're
flying
huge.
roaches?
Yeah, and they fly. Some of them fly. It's disgusting.
We had those.
My daughter just found out that roaches fly today. My sister told her. She was like
terrorized.
My husband about cockroaches flying, and she's like, "I'm sorry, cockroaches fly?" And I was like, "Yeah, they have wings." And she's like,
"Nightmare."
I just thought they scattered everywhere, and I'm like, "Oh no!"
I tried to shoot one with my husband's salt gun when he was out of town, and I did a horrible job, and it started flying around our master bathroom, like terrorizing us. And me and my 2 kids are screaming and running around.
Yes,
horrible. Horrible.
When we lived in Los Angeles, my wife and I were walking around Long Beach with some friends, and she looked down and she goes, "Why are there leaves blowing? It's not windy." And I go, "Those are sewer roaches." And the sewer roaches were like scurrying all over the sidewalk and like over her feet and everything, but she thought they were just leaves that she's like kicking around.
So gross.
I don't like grasshoppers. I don't like cockroaches. I have stupid stories for why I don't like either of them.
The locusts are out here really bad.
My friend wants us to go to Machu Picchu. I was like, I don't do rainforest. I don't do bugs. I don't want to do that.
Oh, it's not that bad. We went to Costa Rica and it was glorious.
Ooh.
Really?
I just got my passport because you have to do another thing. Changing your name is like such a pain in the ass. Like women should not have to do all the man should have to do all the work if you decide to do it. I wouldn't have. So here's another thing I have to say about that is I mainly changed my name because Brewster is very cool. And I thought Taylor was pretty boring. And I also had a lot of bad memories because I was called Taylor for 8 years in the Navy. And I have great memories from the Navy.
Taylor.
I'm glad that I'm so glad I changed it.
Name.
But I really had to jump through hoops to change all that, especially get passport. So now I have a legit passport, good for 10 years. I'm ready to go somewhere.
It is a lot of work. I remember that from when we got married.
So much work.
Amanda, I kind of feel like you left out like 12 years of stuff. And there's a comment from Lisa about crazy ER or pregnant lady stories that might jog your memory.
All the time. Just so everyone knows, it's very dangerous to get pregnant, and no one ever hears all the stories.
Y'all are crazy for doing that. But good for you. I'm very proud of you.
So she does OB a lot, and she's like the best person ever at her job. Me. So if you ever need an anesthesiologist in San Antonio, I would pick her over anybody. She's the best.
Couldn't do it.
But she always has like so many crazy stories, like just people like saying like stuff doesn't work, and she's just like, you're gonna feel something, you're gonna feel pressure.
I got this ring that monitors your heart rate, and it was pretty fun to watch it on my last OB call because my heart rate on my shift was like boo, 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 boo.
I almost died during both deliveries.
Oh my god!
I'm like, this can't be good for me or anyone.
No.
You said you almost died?
Insane.
Yeah, both times.
Yeah,
like literally or figuratively?
No, literally.
For
yeah,
real?
my daughter, she was born in 2010. they thought that my amniotic fluid was like too low, so they induced me, and then the induction didn't go, and I was in 40 hours of labor. They broke my water, nothing happened. I had to have an emergency C-section. And then the surgeon who did that cut me open weird. She nicked my bladder. The surgery turned into like 4.5 hours, and I almost died on the table.
That's not good.
And then when I had my son, he basically ripped me in half, and I lost a whole bunch of blood, and almost died then too.
See? Can you believe women do
Middle ages toast? I would be toast if it was like Middle Ages. I would not have made it. It would be one of those fatalities of
crazy
childbirth. Yeah. So thanks to modern medicine and great doctors, I am alive and well.
Childbirth was probably the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Been part of, like, just witnessed in my life.
My first, because I told you I had him in summer.
Yeah.
I was 14 weeks pregnant before I realized I was pregnant. 14. So
That's
it's
so
like
far.
crazy. And I remember because I was at college, I was at RPI, and I remember feeling tired, and I'm like, I'm just beat down. I'm just kidding. I'm just getting worn out from school, and I was 14 weeks, so it's pretty crazy.
Super far.
Should have dropped that baby in a toilet.
Oh, geez, no. I got much bigger, I'm sure, like just a few months. But I always thought it was funny because there really isn't very many older students at RPI. RPI is the oldest engineering school in the country, 1824, which is pretty cool. It's a private engineering school, and there's so many young people. And I was like 29, 28 when I was there. And they'd have a lot of parent tours. And I'm like, I wonder what all these parents are thinking when I'm like waddling around 7 months pregnant with a backpack on like this. Half the time I was there, Yeah.
What would you have thought? What would you have thought now that you're the parent? Like, you wouldn't have thought anything of it.
I don't know. Well, me personally, I know I would never think anything because I'm like kind of a hippie, like massive feminist hippie. So I'd always be like, whatever, do you. Everyone be cool.
That's probably what everybody else thought. Like, the seven, like the new kids, that the high school ones that are like just graduated coming in, they're probably like, oh my God, there's a pregnant lady. But all the parents there are probably like, good for you. Great job. You're doing the thing.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing your part.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I tell all the pregnant ladies, thank you so much. I appreciate you populating the earth.
And she gets
good job.
She gets to have 2 pretend kids because they're 50% her DNA.
All the fun, none
15
of the
minutes
work.
away.
It's great.
That's why I'm trying to make her do some work when she has extra free time now.
I never thought about that though. That identical twins, you have the same DNA. So, wow,
They look just like me. They look exactly like me.
I gotta show you my son. He looks exactly like us. So
Bring him on.
bring him over.
He's just crying. I hope he's not crying
It'll probably be
anymore.
better.
It's fine.
His ears hurt. He was in the pool. He got some water in his ears.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah, they cry a lot. That's okay though.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's gonna be 8 in August. We're gonna have a party here. It'll be fun.
8 is good.
Yeah.
Wes, how old's your oldest?
She just turned 7 about 3 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
She's at the age where she got rid of all of her Barbies and all of her toys, and what she's into now is her iPad, her Switch, and Lego.
Yeah.
So she's super into those 3.
Hey, sweetheart. You feel better?
He says he don't feel that good, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
but this is the one that looks the most like me.
Sorry. This is
Hi.
What's your name, dude?
John.
John?
I see the family resemblance. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old
I
are
don't know
you?
what your dad looks like, but
I'm about 8.
you're
Yeah.
8.
He's about 8, almost.
Yeah.
Oh.
2 weeks.
Are
You're
you
pretty
counting
much
down
8.
days?
What?
Are you counting down the days ready for your birthday?
Yeah, but yeah, but my calendar's not really like okay
Yeah.
because I've been at my grandma and grandpa's house.
You guys have been keeping very good track, so
That's
Very
okay.
You have a calendar? Like, do you hang a calendar in your room, or?
I hanging it up in the living room.
Yeah.
Nice.
Marking
way
down the
everybody-
days.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very cool.
How's your ear doing? I heard you got some water. in it.
Is it better?
You want me to go tuck you in again?
He got tubes in his ears a couple weeks ago, so he's a little worried about it. But
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the whole point of the tubes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah. Tubes are no fun.
Yeah.
He did
But-
so good.
Yeah.
All
The
my
good thi-
friends came by and were like, "Oh, you're gonna do great." Come here, Eden.
That's kind of the point of the tubes, right? To get rid of any water that might get stuck
Yeah.
in there.
he had a lot of problems. He just had a lot of allergies, a lot of problems.
Yeah.
This is our quadruplet.
Hi.
Well, now we don't know who you look like because you're towel covered.
Love you.
Oh, there you are. Hi.
She's a
What's-
big girl.
What's your name?
Eden. How old are you?
6.
6 years old. She's a
Yep.
big girl.
I got two
Wow.
of these blue
Yep.
eyes. My husband has like black hair and
Dark black.
we
brown.
won in the
And
genetic
gray,
war
and
here.
gray.
He's very he's very
Yeah,
gray,
he's
huh?
a gray haired man.
He's like 60s
Yeah.
gray. You'll see him. You'll meet him. It'll be fun.
Was she talking about my gray hair?
Yeah, I can't see any gray hair on you, barely.
I see some.
Yeah, maybe it's good
It's like
lighting.
lighting from the windows.
Yeah, I got the
Look
good
how
lighting.
dark
going
it is here and how bright it is there. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
on. It doesn't get dark here till like 10 p.m.
Wow, that's
Sheesh.
crazy.
And
Sunset here is 8:32, so it happened already. It says, yeah.
That's my sunset at. Yeah, Alaska was so rough when so we're moving the family up there. So the family's moving up there. I'm staying down here for a year or two, and so we're unloading boxes and we're working and we're going and we're going. And all of a sudden, my son is like real grumpy. We're like, what is going on? And we looked at the clock and it's like 11:30.
Oh, yeah.
The sun doesn't set.
Yeah.
It's like it rises about this much throughout the day, so it's never quite at noon, and then it comes down and it's like right at like horizon level, like the rest of the night. So we had no idea how late it was, and this poor little kid's just like so tired.
Running a wagon, yeah.
Yeah, we had to set a timer to close the curtains. That way we would know it's time to start winding down. It was rough.
you're gonna have to get some of those electric blinds and put them on a smart
Yeah.
transmitter
Yeah.
and then have them just go down automatically.
I have already thought about it. I was like, okay, we got to get those ones that like roll down shutters.
Put a schedule for it. That is a good idea.
Yeah, I put those up in our the kids' rooms, or in my daughter's room, in our bedroom, and also behind me too, so I can
Oh, nice.
control them. Like I just put
Are they
them
on a
so quick
time? Is it on the outside of the house?
No, they're inside. They're
they're inside.
they're from Lowe's. Like back when I got them like 5 years ago, they were only like $40.
Yeah.
But they have rechargeable batteries, and then I got this transmitter from China, and trained it to the blinds, and now they'll go down. I was trying to get it to go down when I turn on the TV too, but it's not compatible with my remote.
Yeah, of course. So if you can find those to set them on a timer, like that would make my life 1,000 times easier to not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'll just
sleep pretty well. I think the key to good sleep is just utter exhaustion. Just be so exhausted.
Yeah.
You'll sleep great.
That's true.
That's where I'm
Another
at.
thing about HVAC though is like no stress. I'm not stressed. It's chill.
Yeah, I
this-
think about all
No
the time, like
emergencies. No
which of us
emergencies.
is gonna die first? I think about that a lot. Do you think about that a
No,
lot? I
never.
think about it all the time.
Mm-mm.
I think I'm gonna die first. Stress. I think
I'm not
so.
stressed. I used to be stressed. Like in the Navy, my hair was falling out, and I was a chain smoker.
Maybe she'll
So-
die first.
Oh,
But now I'm just nothing. It's like nothing can stress me out because it was so different there. Now I'm like I get to use the restroom whenever I want.
I can take as long as I want in the restroom. Is this-
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Stuff like that, you know.
except with kids, you can't really take as long as you want.
Well, you can. You just have somebody like, mom.
Yeah.
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 Need you. So it feels like, yeah.
I don't have.
Like,
Have you all been like thinking more about your mortality since we're technically if you look at the average
age.
death stat, the average life stat, we're like halfway there. So
No.
Oh yeah.
I
has
don't at
mortality
all.
been a thought more often now?
Actually, I feel like I've been more aware of getting older And I'm like, I wasn't ready for it
Think
a little
about
bit.
it every day.
But no. I feel like ever since I had kids, it feels like it made the time go faster. But I always tell her that she stole all my beauty because when I was pregnant with my son, I had really like luscious, soft, nice hair, nice skin. And then I was drab as hell when I was and then she's so beautiful. I always tell her that.
Yeah.
A lot, girl.
I don't think I ever think about my mortality.
Attention, so that's why she's here too. She's the ham of the family.
Yeah, she'll make a lot of
pieces for
Yeah.
you.
You don't ever think about your mortality, Jess?
I don't. I kind of figure I'm gonna live to be like an outlandish age of like 110 or something, and everybody else will die, and I'll just be around here with my cat, and I'll be fine. I don't know. I have
really long and hate it. My grandma, my great grandma.
Perfect. My ultimate life goal is to be like a bog witch somewhere out in the middle of Alaska, and just like everybody stays away from me. I've got my cat and my weird like herb garden, and everybody will be like, "That's that lady," and I'll be like, "Perfect. You stay over there. I'll stay over here."
Yeah.
It'll be a great day.
Yeah.
No,
I try to think about it, but I can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah.
I've had enough stressful things happen in like the past 10 years of my life that like not much stresses me out anymore. It's just everything is, I'm going to start sounding like a life podcast. Everything's temporary. You don't have to worry about it. You just keep going.
You know what I say at work all the time? This is my calling card in the operating room. We're all going to die. Nothing matters.
She says it all the time. See,
You're such an
isn't she crazy?
She's such a nihilist, though.
I really, truly am a nihilist. I really am.
If you think about it, though, like, what does it matter? Like,
it doesn't matter.
She says the same
no
thing
one's
about
gonna remember
pictures.
us. I don't even believe in photographs. In 100 years, no one cares about these pictures.
Some archaeologist is going to unearth this podcast, though.
I disagree,
in like 100 years.
I have pictures in her bedroom of my grandmother, although they got divorced, but the only time she got married, her wedding pictures.
I don't find them very
20s
relevant
or whatever. They're
not okay. So, but somebody will like looking at them. I love old stuff. I love old stuff. I love, and even if I'm not related to them, like I love just like looking at old people pictures, and like I like stories. So like I love fighting.
I don't even like learning history because I don't like it doesn't matter. We're all gonna die.
I just married someone that loves history, so I don't have to learn about it. So I'm just like, you just let me know.
You have to know your history a little bit. That way you know when things are coming back. Like the 90s.
We're all doomed. It's over.
And the other thing, too, is there's so much more record keeping now that we're all like in a big sea. Like we're a bunch of little fish in a big sea because everybody's uploading video. Like we're doing this right now. We're uploading an hour's worth of video to YouTube, but they get 24 hours of video every minute added to YouTube.
Wow.
And so there's gonna be so much history to go through that, you know, nothing's really gonna stand out like it did.
True.
That's a good point.
Or like there's some people that are completely deleting things entirely, right? Didn't they say like old episodes on the Comedy Central show? Oh yeah, like they're just deleting things in history. Like people don't have access anymore. So who knows like how much they'll even be around.
Yeah, well, that's why I set up a Plex server. I don't know if you've ever heard of Plex, but I have my own like my own streaming server, and I've been loading it up. I have 700 movies on it right now, and it's because I realized, like, especially like during COVID, that anything can go away at any point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as long as I have electricity and a network running in my house, I could still have access to all of my movies and TV shows.
Nice.
So like I've been finding them, I've been just putting them on, and Goodwill sells Blu-rays for like $3 a piece.
Totally.
So I've been building like my own Netflix.
That's awesome.
But it's only for like me and friends, but still, it's not like it's going to be public or anything.
Yeah.
But those forgotten episodes will live somewhere. Like when the streaming services take them down, they're sitting on some hard drive in some data center somewhere.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's always kind of been like that. I don't know. I don't think I would worry. I try not to think about stuff like that because I don't dwell over things I can't control. And she's really bad about doing those things. Like she took her boards of like to be done and you have to wait like 7 months to figure out.
No, it was like 4 weeks.
Okay, 4 weeks. It felt like 7 months.
It was 7 years that we had.
It was like a nightmare, like obsessive, compulsive over. And it's like but me, and even now I'm in school right now, right? I'm like, and once I've done the test, like it's done. There's nothing I can do to control how I performed. It's in the past and move on.
I had to fly to another state, spend $1,000, study for like 4 months. Like, so it was always just like worst case scenario. I had to not pass that.
One thing I'll tell you though, that I think was really invaluable, me going to college, when I did my my bachelor's, is I felt very lucky because going as like a late 20s versus brand new 18-year-old. Because if I had a teacher that would talk shit, that's like, if you can't do this, you should do this. And I'd be like, he's wrong. You don't know what he's talking about. So it's like, I knew that I could belong in that field and there was a place for me. And it also helped as well that I was getting it paid for and like housing allowance. So it's really, I could look at it like a job. So I was able to separate like my own like feelings or like, worry against like my intelligence, like, self-doubt, all that. I didn't have to worry about that. I was like, well, I'm getting paid. I'm here to do the best job I can do. And I'm getting paid with whatever grade this is, and I'm going to move forward. So it was like so much better to look at it, being able to look at it that way versus being like tortured to be in debt $100,000.
Yeah.
I looked at it for everybody else,
For having the same DNA, you both have different outlooks on life.
Well, we're mirror image twins too. So.
But I also think like your career can change you. And like I've seen a lot of death. And I think that can change you too.
Yeah.
And like healthy young people who die. So like I don't feel immortal because I see people my age die, It's different.
And the only death I've seen, which has been fair quantity, is suicide. Like multiple people. So, which a part of that is just like, what bad path they went down, or like what self, when people kind of just go in on themselves and spiraling kind of thing, So I think that's kind of helped me look at like, I want to, be happy and like focus on the good things,
Yeah. Well, I totally hear you though. Like I grew up in the funeral industry.
Oh yeah.
So like up until I was like 14, from like 11 through 14, I was working at my grandfather's funeral home.
Wow.
And so I've seen it all. And I think that's kind of where like my hang up is with thinking about it, because I've seen the sausage factory that goes on.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
And so I think that's what's most angsty for me about mortality is, even though you're not aware of it yet, it's just like knowing what happens.
Totally. I think it's kind of nice to be naive to that sometimes. It's similar to childbirth. Like when my sister was pregnant with the second baby, I said, "Aren't you scared? Aren't you so scared?" I was oblivious. I was like, and she's like, "Why? Why would I be scared? I'll die."
But I will say, like, and I'll say this is the only like I never had morning sickness, not once ever. Like, and I think that's why like I didn't realize so long as was pregnant the first time, but that's the one time in my life where I had been really lucky with something. Very easy pregnancies, easy deliveries, like the one time. That's like my one gift, I guess, my one lucky thing. But yeah, when I never realized, and she never told me all these horror stories. She should have told me more.
No, you don't tell pregnant people the horror stories. You say,
I know.
I don't.
All of my stories are so traumatic.
And they're in trauma, and they're saying, this is so horrible. And I said, I'm so sorry. This is not abnormal. This is pretty normal. And this is horrible. Trauma. And I'm so sorry you're going through this. And this is kind of a part of the deal sometimes. It's so sad. It's like people don't know. They just don't know.
Nobody told me that my pre-pregnancy clothes were not going to immediately fit once I had my baby. So I had to have somebody bring me extra clothes to the hospital because I had no idea that I wasn't just going to like. It was horrible.
I mean, yeah. And that's something that would totally make sense to me. Like, exactly. It'd be like, why not?
It's a bit of a process for sure.
It was for sure a process. Yeah.
I want to go back to this comment from Lisa too about some crazy ER stories. Like, I don't know if you can even talk about them with
Some of them are so depressing.
but
I don't even know because there's just so many.
Well, the one that I think about that I think is really depressing is a woman that had kids that was being paid to be a surrogate.
Yeah.
And she died.
Yeah.
And the whole reason she was doing it was to make money to take care
of her own family.
Oh no.
So I mean, like crazy stuff like that happens all the time, and you're just like, whoa.
Or what is that? Like some embolism. That was crazy. Yeah, I didn't know what those existed.
There's something that no one knows about, which all the pregnant people in the world don't Google it.
Close your ears, I guess.
But there's something called the amniotic fluid embolism, which is very rare, but like the few instances it happens, it's like 95% mortality.
And it like really prevents your blood from being able to coagulate. Is that
you just basically
bleed out. Like it gets into your system, and then your whole body, like you bleed out all your orifices.
Look at how serious your face got, and you're like,
yes.
I'm sure Eden is loving this conversation right now.
She's used to it. She don't even know.
Yeah.
Do you know what we're talking about? No.
Nope.
My mom was a wound care nurse, and so like we'd be having spaghetti dinner, and she'd be talking about like the wounds that she took care of, and we're like, oh, that's nice, okay, cool. And so I have no filter when people are telling me like they're telling me gross stuff, and I'm like, and they're like, isn't this grossing you out? Like we're eating, and I'm like, no, you should have heard some of the stuff my mom would tell us. Like I don't care.
Right.
So that's probably how she'll feel.
I think everyone.
Oh, Lisa. Scared Lisa a little bit. Sorry.
It's scary.
It's scary.
I just want people to know.
I know.
Don't push your luck.
Yeah.
Come out here. Have your baby here. I'll protect you.
You have to know people. You have to know the right people.
I flew out to Indiana for my friend's repeat delivery because my doctor friend almost bled to death in her first delivery. And she said, I'm really scared. My ophthalmologist husband is useless. Please come stay with me.
And she was in the hospital room when the baby was born.
I was her partner. Make sure she was okay.
Yeah.
I said, I'll be your Karen.
Amazing.
I'll be your Karen.
Yeah. Yeah. I needed that the first time.
I know.
Oh, so my first baby, I had a horrible witch of a nurse, and I was like in tons of pain, and I asked for an epidural. She's like, well, no, you can have an epidural after you've done this whole bag of Pitocin or whatever. And I puked immediately after, and my water broke. And then I was like, can I have that epidural now? Bitch.
She's like, nope, it's too late. It's go time.
So see, bad people like that ruin your experience, and you never forget them 10 years later. So that's the hard part.
I passed out watching my wife get an epidural.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Epidural was my favorite part for sure.
I wanted to see how it was done, and so I stood next to the anesthesiologist.
Yeah. Oh wow.
He's tapping the vertebrae, and he puts the needle in, and then just start getting tunnel vision, and then
wow,
like slowly fading onto the bed.
Woo.
So then they weren't too happy about that because now they had to worry about me passing out in the room while she's in labor and everything.
We had too many dads pass out, so in most of the places I go to, they make the dads sit down. They don't let them stand at all.
They don't let them.
No. Oh, during delivery, they don't let them.
During the epidural placement. It's probably okay, but delivery for epidural, they say you have to stay seated on the sofa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that needle, and what got me was he goes, if you start tasting copper, let me know.
Oh.
And that was just too much for me. And then seeing that needle, and then
weird. I've never said that in my life. That's
really
weird to
say. Excuse me. And then her leg kick too. So
that's a paresthesia, it's called. So it's just kind of like stimulating a peripheral nerve. It's not really important, but it happens all the time.
Yeah. He goes, that wasn't supposed to happen.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I just love when people say things out loud that are internal thoughts, and that just scares the shit out of everybody in the room because they're like, why would it's not a big deal. Why did you say that out loud? You're getting everybody nervous.
Oh, totally. You got to learn what you can say. And even in moments of those emergencies, I think over the years you learn to just keep it inside and be like, okay, everything is fine. But that's what I'm saying, but that's not what I'm thinking at all. I'm like,
the nurses that took care of me when I was hemorrhaging, I had no idea. The sweet little, she was like, we're just going to give you some oxygen. So you just see this hand coming towards you and you're like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks. Whatever. And then, they're like, how about you give the baby to dad? And I was like, sure, here you go. Take the baby, whatever. And then 5 people which is like 5 people fly into this room. One of them's carrying a tray. And I'm like, what is that? And she's like, we're just going to take care of this real quick. And then she was done in like 3 minutes. And I'm like, what just happened? And they're like, well, you tore. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, so we're going to give you some blood. And I ended up having like, I think 3 bags of blood. So like I lost blood. Yeah. Lost a lot of blood.
That's a lot.
Like half your body. Yeah. Like you lost like half your blood supply.
Yeah. I did. I told you I almost, Wes, you look a little red. Am I like, it's a story I should not tell.
Crazy.
No, I'm like starting to get a little lightheaded again. No.
I know.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So good.
But since you called it out now, I'm really getting red.
Right. Oh, I know, right?
Yeah. Wes, yeah, that's right. Wes is gonna pass out. It started with the epidural story, and now I'm like full on into.
It's like gonna go into shock over there.
Yeah, there's a reason why I'm not. I didn't realize that, but I do hate being in hospitals. I'm like, thank God I didn't try and stay into medicine. Like that is not the. And then a big reason I decided to go engineering is I did get very salty being in the Navy, and salty meaning that you don't have a lot of. You can't really hold your opinions in, or you have a lot. You're kind of mouthy, right? And I was like, I think I can get away with a lot more in engineering. And I think that's true. I can get away with a lot.
That's how a lot of people are, though, when they're younger, is they kind of just let everybody know what's on their mind and don't really have a filter.
Well, I'm very much like that now, but I'm professionally rude. It's a skill set. You just have to know the right way to say it and how, and just not let BS go by, because if someone's
those emails, you see that guy that does the emails where it's like, how do you professionally say like, I'm not doing your crap anymore?
I'm brilliant at that. Yep. It's a skill for sure. So yeah. But I think it was opposite for me. Like I probably didn't say much or let people get away with stuff. And now when getting out of the Navy, if I don't deal with that now, but probably more when I was at train, like people assuming I'm not 2 steps ahead of them, assuming I'm wrong on something. And I'm like, receipts, here you go. No, keep them in their place. It's a lot easier to do that in engineering than it is in medicine, I think. So she talks all the time about that. I'm like, I wouldn't handle that.
Oh. Did you two end up, you think, where you thought you would, or did life just take you in totally different directions?
When I interviewed for med school, I said I want to be an anesthesiologist. So I did end up where I wanted to be. She's pretty cool.
And I got lucky. It worked out. I used to say the one thing I was jealous. I've always been really happy for her. And the one thing I was jealous of her about her for is she always knew what she wanted to do. So I definitely let the winds lead me, where it wanted to blow me. And I think I'm where I belong for sure. But I would have never guessed, because I never thought about engineering or STEM at all. So even when I was about to go to RPI, they looked at what I did in high school and they're like, oh, you need to take physics. You need to take calc. They tried to get me into pre-algebra and I was like, I was doing calculus in the Navy. I'm not doing pre-algebra, so I had to test out of that. But I had to take 2 classes. I had to take a few classes just for them to accept me, just because of my background before.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I was going to say that if you took physics at Santa Rita, I don't know if it would have really helped out that much.
Yeah, it would have been a check in a box, I suppose. But yeah, it probably was better I took it there.
But I do preach to all my friends who are adamant about sending to private school. I'm like, just go to public school.
Yeah.
I'm a doctor. It turned out okay. Just go to public school. It's fine. It'll make you a better person, okay?
I think public school's a little bit different now, though, than it was when we went.
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it just like you're in the heat of it every day?
I don't know. So there's a lot of, I feel like there's a lot more like parental involvement at the high school level. Like when we were in high school, like how often did your parents talk to your teachers? Like I don't think my parents ever talked to my teachers ever.
We had a lot of pretty self-directed.
Yeah. There's a lot of parent involvement. There's a lot of it's good and bad. But there's just, I do think it's different, but I don't necessarily think it's bad. And I think it's very different where I am than where you are, Wes. So the things that are going on in public schools out there, it's not quite like that here.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
one thing I really noticed is like how locked down it is. There's like a holding cell. Like you can't drop your kid off at school. And I am in the north, or my area is very, very nice. And it's a nice elementary school. So it's locked down like a prison, you know. So it's tough. Not a fan.
I don't know. I'm pro public school for at least for my area. I think
cool.
The Vale district does a really good job, I feel, of like it's
my friends are spending like $30,000 a year for like junior high and elementary school. I said, that's a car. You're buying a car every year. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Put that in like an index fund and let it grow, and your kid will be a millionaire without ever working. That's nuts.
For private school, it's $30,000.
Yeah.
It can be. Yeah.
Yeah. We had there's a preschool here nearby that costs as much as community college for tuition. And what we're doing is we put our daughters in a public school curriculum, but it's a homeschooled public school. But we don't teach her at home. She goes to church and learns it there. So she's with her friends from church, and they'll get homeschooled at church together. So the classroom size is only like 4 kids per grade.
Wow, that's cool.
And it's all free too. It's all paid for with tax dollars, and the church volunteers their time to teach the homeschool curriculum.
Dang, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just I didn't really like class. Like I was like
she's like
a self-studier, so it didn't really matter that much to me. But I guess like what I don't love about private school is the idea that you're isolating your children to only very wealthy, very like non-diverse groups of people. That's what it feels like to me when I see my friends' kids in private school. Yeah. I'm just like, they're only ever going to know the
and the people she met in college and med school that were like, well, I did this, and she goes, I beat you. Like we're doing
I used to date someone who went to private school, and I was like, I'm sitting right next to you, buddy.
Yep.
I don't. I mean, at a certain point, your schooling kind of gets left behind, and it's all about where you want to take yourself as an adult. Like I didn't go to college at all, and I'm doing fine. So, I ended up doing web and app design, and so I could have gone to college for it, but I didn't.
Cool. No, a lot of it is silly.
A lot of it is necessary though too. Like if you want to be an engineer or a nurse, you have to go to school for that. So not all of it's, a lot of it is worthwhile too.
Yeah.
But
I would not like a YouTube certified anesthesiologist. No, thank you.
No, true.
Although, we have to YouTube things a lot. My friend, when he was an intern, had to put in a chest tube in the middle of the night. No one would come in. He YouTubed it. He put in chest tube.
Oh my God.
After YouTubing.
But that's like an electrician who has to look up like which wire is something.
No, like we get the gist of it.
You already know it. You just need like a little direction. Versus like me coming in and it would be like, this is something terrible is about to happen.
Yeah. Like I like YouTube blocks all the time that I haven't done. I'm like, I can do this. It's fine. We'll figure it out. And I just
like I think she was in her residency when I was in the Stennis. One thing I really did like is I was a load dispatcher. So it's the senior and rate you can qualify, and you controlled the entire electrical grid for like 4,000 people. You're the load dispatcher. You say, turn this on, blah, 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 parallel the electric grid together, transfer stuff over. And we would joke around because, there's such a cadence to that. You have to know exactly what to say, how to say it. All the different people. I had to know every switchboard, 91 switchboards, I think it is, on the entire ship, where they're located, what sub bus they came off of. And all that. And I was just like, can you imagine us trying to switch places for like 90 seconds? Yeah. It wouldn't work. Like we couldn't do it. So it's always pretty interesting in that way, how different our jobs were. Like it would not.
Sounds like a plot of a movie though. Identical twins switching jobs and trying to.
I think I could be on an earpiece and coach you through it. Yeah? Yeah.
I think there'd be too many words for me for it to come smoothly if I were to do it to you on your side.
We could do it.
Just make sure you don't hit a nerve and have the patient taste copper.
I don't know what that is. That's such a weird thing to tell someone. I don't know what that is either.
Maybe he made it up. Maybe he knew that would get me.
I guess it's like if you get a local anesthetic toxicity, you can get like a metallic taste in your mouth, but I've never heard anyone call it copper. It's just an odd choice.
Got it. But I don't ever say that. I just say, hey, let me know if anything weird happens. So
Everything weird is happening right now.
She's a very chillaxed anesthesiologist. Yeah. She's going to set all your nerves when you're in there.
Very ridiculous.
She's like, what's up? How's it going?
Very ridiculous.
Yeah. You're like, oh, gosh. They say she has good bedside manner. It's a compliment. They say it.
I don't know. I get the work done. That's all anyone cares about, you know.
Jessica's upset that apparently the comments are delayed. That might be for me because I've been pulling them in as they're relevant too. So
okay, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. All
I have good basketball memories and stuff, so I'm excited to go see people. And I have my I
loved high school. I liked college. I hated
year.
Med school. This is my review. Yeah. It's good.
That's it. That's your 20-year review of where you've been.
I liked my first 4 years in the Navy, and I hated my last 4. So yeah, it all depends on who you're with, what you're around.
I can't wait. We're gonna have fun.
Yeah, I'm excited to go back to Tucson and
buy your tickets.
Yeah,
go buy them. I'll post those to the top. I'll even put a link into the comments thread for this. Everybody should go buy their tickets, please, because if we don't get enough people, I might just have to cancel and refund everybody.
Exactly. Everybody gotta do it.
Don't be sad.
Yeah, I mean, I could just go to Tanque Verde Ranch and have a buffet with Sarah and Amanda.
Yeah,
and Jess and
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like,
no, I was including you. No, Jess too, but I think Pam Pierce bought one too. So props to Pam Pierce if you're watching.
Pam.
So I guess we're if worst comes to worst, then it'll be a small group. But I think Lisa will be there too, and
yes, she better be.
Brittany and so like Jessica's going to be there too.
Hopefully Tia can come out. I think she might be able to. Last week.
Yeah. Isn't Tia in
Maryland? I saw her last year because I went to the Ocean. What is it called? It was the sickest 3-day concert ever. It's over there in Ocean City. The Ocean's Calling. It was incredible. Noah Kahan, John Mayer, everyone. Wallflowers, Alanis Morissette. It was incredible.
I thought that was a fake lineup because I saw that on Reddit, and I thought somebody was making their ultimate festival playlist.
So good. It was Jack Johnson. Everyone. It was amazing. I loved it.
That
so
sounds
I saw her. She lives like just 45 minutes or so from Ocean City, and we went and visited her and her new baby.
Mm-hmm.
Right, me and Amanda did. Oh, I think that's all. Yeah. I think Karina was with us, wasn't she? No, I can't remember. I think she was. Yeah, she was. It was the best concert though. So yeah.
It sounds like a cool. I'll buy it tonight, Pam.
Yay!
I don't know what she's trying to say with Pam. Maybe that's autocorrect, but that sounds like an awesome lineup. Like I've gone to see John Mayer like every time he's come to Seattle for the past.
Oh my gosh, I have to tell you, this is a crazy thing. Because, new generation, right? Like they're crazy about Noah Kahan, the Gen Zers, right? Mm-hmm. So I decided to be a crazy person on Saturday, and I ditched Amanda and Karina, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm just going to stand in front and not pee or eat all day. Those crazy concert goers. Well, I was like row 4 for Noah Kahan. When Noah Kahan was over, they all left. They're all Gen Zers. I got to be front row. I was front row for John Mayer.
That's awesome.
It was amazing.
But how long did you have to wait though? Like all day?
I got there at like 3 or 2 or something. So I was there for probably like 7 hours. Like I was pushing it. I was not acting like a 37-year-old. That's for sure. I was holding it down.
That's a sunscreen and Depends kind of day.
Yeah. Oh, and I saw Taylor Swift's front row last year.
Oh, really? What, for the Eras tour?
I have pictures, so everyone comes so I can show you my Taylor Swift pictures. Yeah.
Oh, here's what she meant, that excited Pam is going.
Oh, great. Nice.
Yeah. I hope it was Pam. I hope that's what I saw when PayPal came through in the ticket email.
Yeah.
So
we should start making a list of who's coming and just like start shaming people who aren't.
Yes.
That's the millennial thing.
I'm big on public pressure. We could do it.
We'll have to gamify it. Quick question for you too, Sarah. You were front row with Taylor Swift. Did you notice that she's always like rubbing her nose?
She's not. It was during allergy season. She was probably sick. She did not do that when I was there. I was there for the Maddie Healy era. So Maddie Healy was on stage for the openers and stuff.
Okay. Because I've been seeing on Reddit a lot that she rubs her nose a lot. And
she had a cold.
I've been rubbing my eye this whole time. Like, it's fine.
She had a cold. She had to throw the snot out while she's singing. So
it's not a substance then that she's ingesting through her nose.
No, not at all. She doesn't even drink. That's some strong willpower. during performing. When she's like doing her show, she doesn't drink.
And John Mayer went sober too, I heard.
Oh, well, Taylor Swift does drink, not when she's working. But I did hear John Mayer went sober.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jess, were you ever a John Mayer fan?
I was so into it before, but a little bit now.
A little? No.
No. It kind of built up for me. I think he's my favorite at this point.
Really? Have you listened much to No Con? Because he's really incredible.
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to. He's so good. And I did get to see Phoebe Bridgers, and I do love her too. A Boy Genius, love them.
Mm-hmm.
New Beyonce is amazing. New Taylor Swift, amazing.
New Beyonce, you mean the country album?
Yeah. But it's kind of a mix of a lot of stuff, not just country.
There is, but that her single, the lead single on that was it was ripped from the Franklin theme song. Remember Franklin, the cartoon on PBS?
I saw that.
Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah. It sounds just like the Franklin theme song.
Oh. My kids fall asleep every time I put it on. Like in the car, even if it's like the loud, like even she's singing, but it's like beautiful but powerful, pass out in the car. Oh, Michelle Branch. Oh my God.
We should. I don't think she's doing anything right now. So maybe she's looking for some work.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I put on, as I was driving back from Phoenix on Friday, we have XM radio in the car. And so I turned on like 2000s bops or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And like Michelle Branch came on, and I'm just sitting here like, we just talked about this like 3 days ago. Like, this is so funny. And then I just have been living in the 2000s in my car for the past week.
Well, there's no reason to leave it.
Ever.
No.
I know I can't stop listening to Taylor Swift. The new stuff.
Dude, the 2000 songs are all so depressing. Like every single one of them is just like, why were we all so sad? Because we listen to sad music.
Although like Matchbox 20, for instance, like listen to them, some other stuff. I can't remember. Oh, Lauryn Hill. Educational Lauryn Hill. Good album.
Do you listen to Matchbox 20's newer stuff?
I have the new vinyl. I haven't really listened to it. I should, but I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I got really into vinyls over COVID. We bought way too many of them, so got a big vinyl collection now.
If PDQ is still open in Tucson when you're there, you should go check out their vinyl inventory.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still there.
Looks like Brittany has to put her kid to bed.
Bye.
I don't know. Well, I think Amanda.
PD or PB?
P as in Paul, D as in dog, Q. I think it's pretty damn quick. That's what it stands for.
Papa Delta.
You could have just said that.
Papa Delta. Yeah, I should have used
Quebec.
Phonetic. Yeah.
We like to make up weird ones like potato, donkey, quail, and just make the military people mad. Okay, PDQ, what records? I don't think it's still here.
I think they were on Grant. Anyway, well, I think Amanda tapped out.
Yeah, I think she's running around doing something. Parents are still here.
Well, should we call it a wrap? That was This was a good episode. We have I think this is the longest one yet.
Oof. It was good talking to you guys.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to see you all. It's been a long time, and you'll get to meet my husband. That'll be fun. He's cool.
Looking forward to seeing everybody. So.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks. We'll see you soon.
Good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
You.
Bye.